Welcome everyone at home on Soul TV and everyone here in our audience. My name is Tricia Kelly and this is Tom Kelly. And tonight we have a very special guest on Soul Live. We're not quite sure where he is, but...
Whoa! Made it! I told you I'd be here.
You gave us a scare there.
Unbelievable.
What happened?
Hi, Trish. Hi, Tom.
We're glad you made it.
Just a little nervous. I was out in the parking lot rehearsing some lines.
Is that right?
Centered.
You did some deep breathing.
Right?
Now centered. Let's begin.
Let's do it. Okay. So if you haven't noticed, this is our good friend Steve Ostrow, who is also
Cosmo Kramer. On the show, there was Cosmo Kramer. Some people say I look a little bit like the character.
You'll have to decide for yourself.
Thank you, Spirit.
Well, I mean, can we get a close-up of this here? Show him, Steve. Yeah.
My gift to you.
Ah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Well, along with this.
Shameless plug.
This book is written, it's called How to Sue a Telemarketer. It's co-authored by multiple personalities. Steve Ostrow, Esquire, and Cosmo Kramer. Let's just call him Juvenile. But anyway, it is a wonderful book. It's all about promoting peace in the household, one telephone call at a time. And for those of you who are a little short on income these days, it could be a very valuable tool for your library.
All right. So let's go back a little bit. This is one of our wonderful community members who does yoga with us and comes to yoga church. And Tom noticed the little resemblance to someone from Seinfeld. But we also knew that he happened to be an attorney. So how does one attorney become Cosmo Kramer?
In the words of a very great poet, one of my favorites, what a long, strange trip it's been. Actually, I started practicing in 1979, but in the mid-90s, although I was blessed with a practice down in Cardiff by the Chart House and the Beach House, looking over the waves, looking to see if Tom was out there surfing.
Just checking up on Tom.
You know, I wanted a little more in my life. I was doing affirmation work. I wanted more fun in my life. And I can't say I manifested it right away because I like a little drama. And so I complained a little. And some friends suggested that you could do Kramer. I said, I should be putting lays on people when they come off the plane in Hawaii. That's not possible, but this Kramer thing is really fun. I said, I don't know. They said yes. I said, I don't know. They said yes. And then came Halloween. Do you remember? I know that, Halloween was Yogananda's favorite holiday. And so it was 1996. And this was before 2001. And SRF in Encinitas, it was wild. We had 10,000 people that would come down. We had the stages. The whole community was there. It was wonderful. And the costumes were so elaborate. Let me try it. And so I put, at that time I wore my hair in bangs. So it couldn't get it up really high, so I had to use egg whites to stretch it up as high as I could get it. And then with a little paint, I didn't have sideburns, so I had to paint the sideburns on. And I took them, you know, I'm like an Aloha attorney, so I have all these Aloha shirts in my closet. And it just went over great. And it was wonderful. And then after that, there was a few charity shows. People said, "Oh, did you do that Kramer thing for the charity show?" Why not? You know? And I did that. And then I met this guy who did George Burns. He played George Burns, and then he gave me all his agents. And so I made this resume, and you know, it wasn't hard, just knock out a resume. And then somebody paid me for it.
No.
That was great. And then I started meeting other celebrity impersonators. I met Hawkeye from MASH. At that time, there was all the presidents. Oh, you hang around with Cher and Whoopi and Dolly Parton, and it's like, I like this.
There's a little fun in your life.
It was fun.
And they're all impersonators.
They're all impersonators, and it was just a lot of fun. And then came the final episode of Seinfeld. I had 15 offers from all around the country: New York, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Florida, Las Vegas, San Diego, Los Angeles. And anyway, I ended up in Las Vegas, and it just went over great. And I was on the map, and Kramer's this lovable character, and it was off and running.
And you said you did by that time you were doing half law and half impersonating.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing about 4 shows a month. One thing about law, I mean, law, it serves a very good purpose. There's clientele, and you know, we live in this world, and we have to take care of business. But nobody really calls on your lawyer for a good time.
Right.
When a lawyer walks into the room, it's like, oh, he's here. When you start doing Kramer and you come, oh, he's here, he's here. And all the gigs that I was getting, they were all at really exciting destinations. And it was great. I mean, I could not have choreographed something as grandiose. It was one of those things where I left it to Spirit, and Spirit created something in my life which was so much bigger than my imagination could have dreamt at that time. And on the other hand, don't give up that day job. Because it's a funny thing, it's when you do comedy, it's so much easier to be funny when you know that there's food on the table. So, you know, anyway, but also I think in my chart, I mean, I have a little earth. I have in my astrological chart. So I can't, when I start and get too airy, I got to come down. I got to, you know, I got to put my feet in the earth. And it was, you know, if the doing, you know, being on the road performing, I like coming back to my office, almost like doing crossword puzzles. You know, I mean, that's what law is. It's like playing a game of chess. And yeah, so there was a comfort in being balanced.
So it's left brain, right brain type of stuff.
Yeah, and I like to think that there is a good balance for me. Yeah, I enjoy creativity. Yeah, and I enjoy having a purpose and solving the problems too.
Yeah, I think that, you know, all of us could use an alter personality, whether it be a celebrity or what, because the personality that we go around with taking seriously isn't necessarily the one that's aligned to truth. So to get out of the little personality and into, you know, something that brings you fun or happiness or whatever role you want to play is a good thing. And the ultimate challenge will be to play the part of an immortal soul.
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
it's a gift. It's totally a gift to be able to have the opportunity to get out of one's box.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, as a lawyer, okay, I've been a sole practitioner. I've worked for myself for the last 30 years. I run the show. It's my office. But still, as a lawyer, there's four corners. And even within my definition of my box, conscious or unconscious, there still is those little parameters that I'm held to. To have the opportunity to step out into a whole nother role and break those barriers where, fortunately, my character was unlimited. The wilder, the crazier, anything that you could do, you know, was great. And what was beautiful was just me as my nature as Stephen, the Esquire. I've always been a little clumsy. So if you had me over for dinner and you were serving, well, maybe if somebody else was serving the red wine,
Right.
and I knocked over the wine, it's like, why did we invite Stephen? But as that Kramer character, there goes the wine, and it's like, ha 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 ha, oh, you're such a character, you're just like that character. So there's a lot of permission that I was granted.
Do you find yourself going into that, like, say, for instance, you were to knock over the wine, do you all of a sudden go into character?
It's the best. Because, you know, I'm dignified. That makes mistakes, you know? You're dignified, you know, then you have your undignified moment. But when you're able to go in and out of it, and here's the irony of it is, if you can't tell, I didn't tell you I'm from New York.
Oh, you are?
Oh, yes.
I thought you were from South Florida.
Most people think I have that southern drawl. But being from New York and just having that little East Coast swagger, the character, it just lends some permission. There's a little more permission. You get some leeway.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
Can you recall some of the real outrageous, one or two outrageous gigs that you did as Kramer, or just situations that happened as Kramer?
Yeah, outlandish things that you did in that character.
Can you recall
Some of your
favorite moments?
I have to, well, when my family is, you know, what are you doing? You're a lawyer, what are you doing here? But when I was on The Tonight Show, now my son's on TV. So that added some credibility.
Yeah.
But the character, it is so great. I mean, there's times they put me in a room. There was this wonderful riding club from Orange County, and whatever happened, what were they called? It was a riding club. Anyway, the ladies get together, and they brought in Kramer and Billy Crystal.
Oh. Well, Tom could do Billy Crystal. That's a big deal.
But this is a family show. So let me tell you about another gig.
Edit that one.
Yeah.
But when you hang out, okay. There was a gig. We were in Tucson, Arizona. It was corporate. And I'm hanging out with Dolly Parton and Whoopi Goldberg. The three of us are in it. And I'm telling you, Tom, Dolly and I, we have this thing going, this connection. It was so hard to try and get rid of Whoopi. but stuff, I mean, they rolled it was just great. And I mean, then you start, when you're hanging out, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. I mean, if you look on my phone, Sean Connery, Tina Turner, and these are just all great, great people.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when I have a gig, you're paid to be a celebrity impersonator. The accent is on celebrity, no accent on impersonator. So I am a celebrity. I am a celebrity.
Yeah.
Being a celebrity, if you tell people want to be around celebrities. If you tell them you're a celebrity, they will believe you. And they will be disappointed if you tell them, only kidding. So once there's an art to denial. People that, are you the real one? Are you the real one? I am real. And you just go with it because you don't want to disappoint them. Because once you got to go in. If I could just say, there was this one gig. It was up in Beverly Hills, and there's one lady up there. It's Beverly Hills. I think the Beverly Hills Hotel, and this lady, you could tell she's had her face done. She's had all her body parts done, and she comes up to me and she goes, "You're good. Oh, yeah, but you're good. But I know you're not the real one." And it was spontaneous. Like, ma'am, out of all the people here, I'm not so sure if you should be telling me who's the real one. For the rest of my career, it's one of those spontaneous, rehearsed lines that you always keep in your back pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
You want that to come out spontaneous. But when it came out the first time, it was the best.
Do you know the actor that played Kramer on?
I know Michael, I do. He's a great guy. He got himself into a little trouble a few years ago. But I do know before he would go on to Seinfeld, he would be dropping into yoga studios up in the LA area. And that is true.
Wow.
He's a good guy. Yes, there was this little faux pas that he made. I think what everybody loved about him as a character, it was intense. When he was happy, it was happy. When he had an idea, it was big. And unfortunately, off camera, or when he was caught on camera, he got angry. And, like his other emotions, he has emotions. It was intensified, and, he had an issue from it. But he's a good guy. He's a real good guy, Michael Richards.
So now that there's more and more space between the time that Seinfeld went off and now, do people still, are people's memories a little shorter? Do the younger people not know who Seinfeld is? Or is it just that there's so much reruns?
Exactly.
So many reruns that it's
There's plenty of reruns. And Sony owns the rights to Seinfeld now. It got passed down. What they did is they took a bus, and they took the bus to college campuses just so people would not forget to keep this thing revived.
And were you on the bus?
I wasn't, but I went down to see it. I went down, they received me very well. But because of the reruns, that character will be around, I think, as long as I am on this earth. My buddy who plays Hawkeye from MASH. MASH has been off the air for
20 years, 15?
30 years.
Is that right?
I think so.
Wow.
I think so. And Hawkeye, he's still there. And I try. Sometimes, every once in a while, I say, well, maybe it's time to retire. Like that old Al Pacino line from The Godfather. Just when I think I was out of it, they pull me back in. And every once in a while, I think, maybe I'm done. I'm just done. I'm going to cut my hair and I'm going to just go out to pasture. And then You get the email, you get the call out of the blue. An old agent just calls up and says, could you do this gig? Oh, please. You know, and you know, all right, come on.
The hair stayed long.
So, yeah.
What do you think Kramer would have to say about yoga? Or even, make it more personal, yoga church.
Yoga church?
Yeah. Give him a minute. He doesn't have it in his back pocket.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, Michael, before he would go on to the show, he would go, you know, he'd stop in at the yoga classes. If you know, like, you know, the character, it's studied, he's centered and explodes. So the best is he's in the moment. There's no way that, you know, there's that moment when you're in Kramer mode, you're in the moment, and that is it, isn't it? That's a yoga posture. And his physical humor. How do you get your, you know, to do your body like that? You know, it all comes. It comes with the, you know, the yoga technique.
I was actually trying to try to have you do a little of the shtick for me. That was my way of asking. When I asked what Kramer would say about yoga. Yeah, I was hoping you'd give us a little Kramer.
Trish?
Yeah.
Before I came here, I got this massage. Oh, baby, right? I got this massage. She had these long, angelic fingers, and it went up and down my spine, and it started to tingle. Oh, baby, I was centered. Yeah. It's a while, you know, but I, like the yoga and law. It's funny how the thing just, you know, they just weave. It just weaves together. And you know, so here, I mean, what's big in my life? You got.
Here's where it weaved together, right? Your law and your humor.
Yes. I mean,
You think?
there's sometimes along the way. There have been times I say, the law, it's such a tough road. But yet, it's led me to the humor. And a dear friend of mine, Larry Payne, who teaches, he's a part of your yoga teacher training. We've been best friends for 25 years. 20 years ago, we talked about forming a organization called International Association of Yoga Therapists. It was a concept. He had an idea. Larry, it's a great idea. So it was Larry Payne and Richard Miller. They were the original directors. With myself, I did the incorporation. It was like a little acorn that we put in the ground. This last Labor Day, I went up to Asilomar. 20 years the IAYT has been around, and it's now this international organization. And I got a chance to see how, you know, Spirit gave me the tools to practice law so that I could meet someone like Larry Payne. So that we could create this organization that now, 20 years later, we had people from every continent, people from India and Europe and Australia, Canada, you know, North America, people from South America, coming to, you know, to share yoga therapy. And to think that I would have that small part of it, you know, I stepped back and you know, you just look up, look down, look in, and just say, thank you, Spirit.
So, law, Esquire, and then little fun, you affirmed fun, fun, fun. You've been to India, you studied the religions of the East and the West, and then, you know, this little bit of Osmo Kramer, and now here you are in this part of your life. What are you affirming now? What would you like to do in the next phase of your life? Would you share an affirmation? Because we know from what you've told us, if you affirm it, it's going to happen.
Inside of me, I mean, I like to make a public statement. I have a big heart. I have a big heart with you know, and there's a lot of love in my heart.
No doubt.
And I want to share that, you know, with a person. You know, some people say my standards are high. I mean, I come home, I have a chocolate lab, Amigo. And when I come through the door, it's like, you're home, you're home, you're home. And maybe having a partner greet me like that may be unreasonable.
Right?
But internally, I would like to have someone, when I come home, say, hi, Steve, you know, and in the inside just saying, I love you.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And it's you know, it's happening. You know, it's just what's happening. And whether it's you know, at yoga church, or you know, even at WA, you know, at the WA concert, it is what's happening. And knowing that you know, she doesn't have a name right now, but it's in creation.
Yeah.
So.
Well. So I would.
Well, if you had your card, you could show it on the thing. Just call me.
Yeah. Tom has my number.
So, if you're at home and you're looking for love and you have a big heart and maybe a chocolate lab to go with Amigo, if you have Amiga, give this guy a call.
Right?
You might be a fit.
Or if you are going through a serious time in your life and you need an attorney, but you don't want it to be so serious, see this guy. Do you have people come to you because they might think it to be a little lighter to have you as an attorney? Do you keep it lighter?
This is the gift. This is the gift that I have, and there is when you're involved in a legal situation, everybody's a little different. There's some people that really need to learn how to let go. There are some people that need to stand up for themselves. Some people need to maximize their monetary return. Some people need to get on with their lives. I think I have, and this is the blessing of meditation and yoga, is that I have the ability, I think, to be with somebody and really get a sense that to explore what it is, the highest purpose. Sometimes monetary returns may be the highest purpose, sometimes not. Sometimes standing up for yourself is really important. Sometimes letting go. But overall, everybody has a different capacity. But I think I recognize, and it's not all attorneys are meditators, and they don't seem to understand.
So there's a surprise.
They just don't see.
Didn't you tell us that you did a stand-up? You did a thing for Attorney Association or something? You did
Osmo.
It was my toughest show. It was my toughest show. So here I am. I'm out doing Kramer, and I'm doing it for all these different corporations. I think, you know what? The North Coast Bar, they heard about me. They asked, would you just, you know, do something for our Christmas party? These lawyers, they're a great bunch of people, but boy, they don't laugh. what they do is they give you a verdict. I give them my best material. And I was on that day. And they sit there like really slow and go, that was funny. Guys, a little feedback. So yeah. And then I had an opportunity. The Reader did a very nice article on me. So right after the Reader did the article, I went in, and it was a benign case. I mean, I wouldn't fool around. I mean, if it was a trial where there was really significant consequence. But this was a probate matter, and it was really just shuffling the paper, making sure the paperwork was right. The article was written, I come in, and there's the clerk, and she's like, oh, that's the one, that's the one. And she says, do this, do this. And then the judge with his glasses sort of looks up and goes, Counselor, would you just do it? Oh, well, Judge, my client's dead. You're sitting up there with those black robes, but you can't bring them back. But you could make it just a little easier on us. Just sign that little paper. You know, so it's all in a day of court. It's beach law.
Right.
Beach law. Yeah, welcome to
Do you have
NC.
another book in you? Well, I mean, this is a really cute idea.
I want to look for the page, my favorite page, while you're talking.
Another book.
I mean, an attorney, yogi kind of concept or something.
Book is a tough road.
How long did it take you to write this?
A long time.
Yeah.
I started writing. I was hot. I was really, really hot in writing. I would wake up in the night, with these great little ideas, write them down. I was on a roll. But then I said, whoa, stop. I know if I go on the Daily Show, first thing that Jon Stewart would ask me is, have you ever sued a telemarketer? So I said, you know what? I need to do research. I need to have 10 cases underneath my belt. So then, I mean, it wasn't difficult. They just called, and I just followed what I did in the book. Took down their numbers, and I took down the information.
Oh, God.
I got 10 out of 10. I won 10 out of 10 cases. And I'd like to thank all those telemarketers out there that paid their judgments because it helped in the publication of the book. Another book, I like talking better than I do writing. The book, it's not the easiest. It's not the easiest road. And once you write the book, then you need to get the message out. And there's I think I like performing. I like giving my heart. I do like practicing law also. So I will not close the door, but until Spirit speaks through me and He talks to me, it's sort of like the Moses example from Sunday afternoon. Who, me? Another one? Why couldn't you just ask me to free my people again?
Much easier.
I see a cute shtick, though, would be filming you as Kramer coming into a yoga environment, a yoga class.
Or teaching a yoga class. You'll have to do that. Why didn't we do that on April 1st? Can you imagine April Fool's Day, having you come in as... Well, we'll get it. We'll do it. Start coming up with yoga jokes. Put them in your back pocket.
Okay. Right. Let me, when you mention that, it's a good time to take a good breath.
Right.
Teaching. I did teach for a little while.
Did you?
A little while.
All right.
I did. I took my teacher training with Larry Payne.
I figured. All right.
And then in San Diego, I was teaching part-time. However, out of respect for yoga teachers, I did not want to be a part-time yoga teacher. There's too many dedicated teachers who devote their life to it. And if you're going to do it full time, I totally respect that. And so I just enjoy practicing all over town.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Oh, great. Well,
Well, what would be a message if you could receive a message? Sounds like you're very in tune to receive messages. What would be one that you would like to leave our folks at home with?
You know, I mean, it was a continuation of Sunday's message about when something comes to you. When there's a really big grandois that comes to you, and you get that yes, and then just watch for that but and that little dance.
Right.
This thing is all about exploring just how great we can be, and the opportunities happen. And just, we should all watch, drama, opportunity, the greatness, and just really go for it. Really just go for it. And that is what, if I could just really leave a message, is I really go for your dreams, because they come true.
you're a living example.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.